Welcome to episode 1509 of the Multifamily Collective. Today, I wanted to sort of continue this series, or I'm going to call it a series now, of attributes that are important for the regional manager position in the multifamily space. But these attributes are really probably applicable across the board, whether you're in the multifamily industry on the operations side, on the vendor side. These are things that you should incorporate, or I'd encourage you to incorporate into your daily behaviors that will make you successful in whatever aspect of the business you're participating in. So the first one was accountability. We talked about accountability a couple of days ago. Today, let's talk about action-oriented, or being action-oriented, or what Tom Peters says that I really like, and having a bias for action. I don't know if he came up with that or he just repeats it very often. But to have a bias for action, you can see opportunities in the marketplace and you seize them because you have this sort of mental state about yourself that has a bias for action baked into it. So you see it and you go for it. Even if you don't know what you're doing, you see it as an opportunity. You go for it in terms of learning. You go for it in terms of getting yourself up to speed so that you can take a more meaningful action on a particular opportunity. So some of those key behaviors that are really born out of having a bias for action are you enjoy working hard. Now, that doesn't mean you violate balance. We can talk about that in a later episode. I have a different definition or a different thought process about balance. But the point is, a person who is action oriented really enjoys work, and they're full of energy as a result of that. So the toil or work that they participate in is something that gives them energy, whether it is being around people, it's improving their skill set, it's defining and working on challenging problems, participating with smart people to come up with good solutions. I think the other attribute, or the behavior for this attribute, is people are who see opportunity, have a bias for action, are very comfortable with not knowing a lot about an opportunity, or not having a charted out course or a charted out plan to actually get that opportunity put in place. They just see it and they go for it, and they figure it out along the way. I think you could probably argue that this is a little bit of a negative behavior as it relates to a bias for action, but I see this a lot sometimes in myself. I become very impatient with other people because they're not moving at the pace that I desire them to move, or the organization is not moving at the pace that I desire for the organization to move. And you have to remember that you're working with people, and people's propensity to move quickly is all over the board, right? Every person has a different gear, and part of your challenge as a leader is to get everybody geared the same so that you're moving at a pace that is good for the company, but is good for the individual and doesn't burn people out. But you have to sort of moderate. My encouragement would be to moderate if your governor is a 10 or in excess of 10 and everybody else is a 5, you got to figure out how to get everybody else to a 7 and get yourself maybe backed off of the 10 to a 9.9. Because I think you have to set a pace for an organization. Anyway, long story short, regional managers, other leaders in an organization, having a bias for action is certainly an area of opportunity that you can exercise to create outcomes that are favorable to your business and favorable to yourself. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.